Welcome to today's lesson. Today we are discussing self-inductance. When an electric current is passed through an insulated conducting coil, it gives rise to a magnetic field in the coil so that the coil itself behaves like a magnet. It means that when a current passed through a coil, it produces a magnetic field. So equivalently we can say that the coil is kept in its own magnetic field. The magnetic flux produced by the current in the coil is linked with the coil itself. As the strength of the current in the coil is changed, the flux linked with the coil also changes. Under such circumstances, an EMF is induced in the coil also. Such an EMF is called self-induced EMF, and this phenomenon is known as self-induction. If the current in the coil is increasing, the self-induced EMF produced in the coil will oppose the rise of current. That means the direction of induced EMF will be opposite to the applied voltage. That means if the current in the coil is increases, induced EMF decreases that current. On the other hand, if the current in the coil is decreasing, the EMF induced in the coil is in such a direction as to oppose the fall of current. This means that the direction of self-induced EMF is the same as that of the applied voltage. Remember, self-inductance does not prevent the change of current, but it delays the change of current flowing through it. Thus, self-inductance, or simply the inductance of a coil, is defined as the property of the coil due to which it opposes the change of current flowing through it. It can also be defined as the property by which a coil opposes the growth or decay of current through it. Growth means increase in current, decay means decrease in current. So self-inductance is the property by which a coil opposes growth or decay of current through it. Now, if the number of turns in a coil is N and the flux linked with each turn is phi, then the total flux linked with the coil is N into phi. In this case, the total flux linked with the coil, which is also called as flux linkage, is directly proportional to the current I flowing through the coil. That is, we can write N phi is proportional to I, or N phi is equal to Li, where the constant of proportionality L is called self-inductance of the coil, or L is equal to N phi by I. So self-inductance L is a measure of the flux linked with the coil per unit current. It is the flux linked per unit current. Now we will obtain the expression for self-inductance of a solenoid whose number of turns per unit length is small letter n and area is A. So we know the magnetic field due to a current I flowing through the solenoid is B is equal to mu 0 Ni. Therefore, the total flux linked with the solenoid or the flux linkage is N phi is equal to small letter n into L. We know capital letter N is the total number of turns. So it is equal to n into L, where small letter n is the number of turns per unit length and L is the length of the solenoid. That into mu 0 Ni into A. So we have mu 0 n square Al into I. So on comparison with the equation n phi b equal to Li, we'll get L to be mu 0 n square Al. So generally we can write L the inductance L is mu r mu 0 n square Al, where mu r is the relative permeability of the medium which is there in the core of the solenoid. So we can say that self-inductance of the coil depends on its geometry and on the permeability of the medium. And the self-induced EMF is also known as the back EMF. Why it is called back EMF? Because it opposes any change in the current in the circuit. As I told earlier, if the current in the coil is increasing, this EMF induced decreases that current, and if the current is decreasing, induced EMF increases the current. So since it opposes any change in the current through the coil, that EMF induced is called as back EMF. So self-inductance, it depends on size and shape of the coil, the number of turns, and the property of the medium within the coil in which the flux exists. It does not depend on the current I. Now differentiating the equation n phi equal to Li with respect to time, we have n into d phi by dt equal to L into di by dt. In the case of self-induction, Faraday's law and Lenz's law holds good. Therefore, n into d phi by dt, we know from Faraday's law it is minus E, or E is equal to minus n into d phi by dt, where E is the induced EMF. So here E is the self-induced EMF, which is also called as the back EMF. Now combining these two equations, we have E is equal to minus L into di by dt, or L is equal to minus E divided by di by dt. So we can say that L is equal to E when di by dt is equal to 1 ampere per second. That means the self-induced EMF produced per unit rate of change of current in the circuit is called as the self-inductance of the circuit. If you put E is equal to 1 volt and di by dt as 1 ampere per second, then the value of inductance you will get it to be 1 Henry. So from here we can define 1 Henry as the inductance when an EMF of 1 volt is induced when the current flowing through the coil changes at the rate 1 ampere per second. So inductance of a coil is said to be 1 Henry when an EMF 1 volt is induced in it when the current through it changes at the rate 1 ampere per second. Now we will discuss one example question which is from mutual inductance. Example 6.9. Two concentric circular coils, one of small radius R1 and the other of large radius R2, such that R1 is very much less than R2, are placed coaxially with centers coinciding. Obtain mutual inductance of the arrangement. So here we have two circular coil instead of solenoids, and they are kept with their centers coinciding. So we assume first current I2 is passing through the outer coil, and that is the large coil, and that coil, it produces a magnetic field at the center which is mu 0 I2 divided by 2R2. We have studied this equation in chapter 4. Since this other coil, it is placed coaxially, it has a small radius, so the flux linked with the inner coil is equal to the magnetic field into its area, that is B2 into A1. So we have mu 0 I2 by 2R2 into pi R1 square. So that's what we have as mu 0 pi R1 square by 2R2 into I2. So M12 we are getting as mu 0 pi R1 square by 2R2 in the same way as we did with solenoid. But we know we have already proved in the case of solenoid that M12 will be equal to M21. So here we conclude that the mutual inductance M12 equal to M21 equal to mu 0 pi R1 square by 2R2. So that is the mutual inductance between two concentric circular coils. So only this much for today. Thank you.